So I'll come up with my own game plan for week 4. Week 4 being the heaviest of the block. Typically I go twice a day, but for week 4, we're not doing that. Now, I've had a few people ask me, why do you go twice a day? And I say, well, for one, I like to go before work. That way I'm waking up to go to the gym, not go to work, You decide to kind of continue on with your day by going to work, but it's not really what you woke up for. You woke up to go to the gym. I also go to the gym in the morning to stretch. I'm really tight in a lot of areas, and if I'm going to be an efficient powerlifter and go to the next level, I really got to take care of that. Therefore, the morning is a really good time to do so. And it's really not recommended to do deep stretching right before a session. It's recommended to do that 30 minutes to 2 hours prior to your session. So by stretching in the morning, I could go to work, and then by the time I get to the gym in the afternoon, my body is okay. Now, with it being week 4 and it being the heaviest week of the block, I decided to go only in the afternoon on Monday, take a technical rest day on Tuesday. That means that I would just go in the morning and do some resistance training, and then Wednesday, which is today, I would go ahead in the afternoon, hit day 2, and that's where we're at today. It's a big deal for me because today we have pause deadlifts, but at 470 pounds. It'd be the first time I ever lifted anything that heavy for a paused rep. I haven't even hit a pause squat at 470, so 470 pause deadlift is going to be interesting. And I'm not doubtful, I'm not really anxious. I guess it's kind of exciting more than anything. It's exciting to see that I've gotten to this point where someone has programmed that for me. Never even thought a million years to program this kind of stuff for me. It'd be just a random day that I would just decide. The fact that it's programmed is even better, because now that there's no ego involved. There's no ego whatsoever involved. So trying to really focus this week on resting, trying to get as much rest as I can, so that way I can be effective when it comes to moving this type of weight. And in the future, this will be something that's considered light for me. Maybe this will be a week 2 instead of it being a week 4. So I look at those things, and that's what I'm striving for, and I recommend you do the same. You always want to keep moving up. Never really want to go back down. Wish you guys all safe lifting out there. But I'm going to cut the chit chat. Let's ride. All right, well, that sums up the video. It's the end of week 4, day 4. We'll be moving on to week 5 next week. That's a deload week. So a lot of people get excited for deload. For me, I like lifting the heavy weight. Deload is necessary. My body will thank me for that. So I will keep a good attitude, keep a positive attitude about it. However, I do see the progress. That brings me to day 3. I do want to go over the 5x3 of 350 pounds for squat that I had. The low bar is starting to feel more natural, not forced. You know, when starting out in squat, I started out with high bar, and that's all I knew. And I was really tight back then. I'm still tight now, but I was really tight back then to where I could never get into the low bar position. So now it's starting to feel a little more natural. We can always get better, we can always improve, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I am happy that tempo squats are in the program. At first, I was not sure about them, but when you see the results from something that you were unsure about, I mean, you can't argue that. I would recommend you guys get into some tempo squats. It really helps for stability. So then that way when you go in for something like my 5x3 of 350 pounds, you're very stable and you're actually more confident during that session. With that being said, bench press did not go as planned. With the 308, we wanted a 1x2. However, I just didn't have the strength that day. I will say I was a little dehydrated. I didn't get the water intake that I needed. So my coach went on ahead and said, go ahead and just do 2 singles and we'll call it there. That I'm still not satisfied with that. So my goal is to come back and hit a 1x2 of 314 pounds. That's to be discussed with my coach. However, for today, day 4, I'll say the deadlift session was pretty solid. I do want to work on my thoracic kind of rounding. I do stay solid. I don't really move. I do protect my spine. However, I do want to kind of just do my best to kind of keep the back neutral as best as I can. However, my bracing is getting on point. I am practicing more on that, and it's all about protecting our spine throughout the lift so where we don't have any movement. We don't want the weight going in areas that it doesn't belong. But that'll do it for this week, guys. I'm looking forward to next week. We'll see what that brings. If you're new to fitness, if you're thinking on starting a fitness journey, or if you're simply in the gym and you do not have a program, visit teleportstrength.com. See if you're a great fit. We can help you. We can get you going, get you on the right track, and change your life. Teleportstrength.com. Before you know it, you'll be there. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.